This is my highly edited playthrough of the first stage of Super Bullet Break, called Monochrome Tactics. Super Bullet Break is a roguelite deck builder game that actually has a pretty good story to it. But one of the biggest flaws of the game is the uneven difficulty of some of the stages. Many people feel Monochrome Tactics, the first stage, is actually the most difficult. So today I'm going to show you my playthrough, explain some of my decisions, and let you see what a successful run can look like. Now before a run, you get to do a mini gotcha thing to get a bonus bullet. Try to hold out for one that works with the deck you're aiming to build. In this case, right off the bat, I get a card that will give me essentially 20 free health per battle, which is super helpful in this game. When you start a stage, map out your route to hit as many of the treasure blocks, that's those yellow boxes, as you can. In Monochrome, the basic strategy with the starter deck is to balance armor, shield, and damage output. Enemies are fairly straightforward with their moves in this stage, but this means that basically all they do is attack. If you ignore armor and shield, you will lose. Remember that armor persists between turns, while shield goes away at the start of your next turn. In my very first battle of the stage, I get to use the bullet I drew in the gotcha to keep me at full health as I continue into the map. I grab Luca Moonlit as my reward since she makes monochrome bullets cheaper to play and has a cartridge that adds 4 attack to my first bullet each combat. Try to learn the various events that can happen in event blocks, and begin memorizing the answers for Lanterna's Quiz Corner. Remember that some events can hurt you. Treasure blocks always contain all good things, but good can be a relative term. Often the items can be useless, or the bullets don't mesh with your deck's synergy. In this case, though, I drew the Black Cat 96 card, which is an incredible addition to just about any deck. Rest blocks can heal you, but they have another important function, swapping out your cartridges. If you run an efficient deck, it's important to swap out your cartridges to better ones. I usually get rid of the cost +1, attack +2 cartridges first. The cartridge I got in its place gives me 5 armor at the start of each combat, which is always helpful. The Black Cat card gives me -1 cost and +1 attack on all bullets for the rest of this combat, plus recovers 1 HP and gives me 3 shield at the end of each of my turns. Pretty much every time I draw Black Cat, I want to play her before anything else. Shop blocks have a selection of random items, but there's always a scout ticket for sale. This screen gives you a small bit of control over what you draw using the traits system. It's still random, so there's a high degree of luck involved. One monochrome card I really want has the Unwell trait, so I make sure to choose that, but unfortunately I don't get the card that I want. I have more scout tickets, so I keep drawing. I like Phoenix cards, so I grab one of those, and she turns out to be pretty powerful too. Singular ladies are always overpowered cards. Unfortunately, the randomizer gives me a card based on the second trait, not the first one. Lanterna is still good though. At the next shop block, I buy another scout ticket and get a character that grants me shield when discarded. I'm still full on health, so it's a good opportunity for me to get rid of another basic cartridge, in exchange for an upgraded one. This cartridge adds to this bullet's attack power for every card discarded that turn, so it's situationally useful, not universally useful. Roy, the first boss, hits hard, but there's a long delay between her attacks, so plenty of time to pile on armor and shield. Just don't mess up and play shield cards on a turn when she's not going to attack. Those long gaps between Roy's turns also means that bullets with the burst ability are more useful, as they grow in attack power with every card played in a turn. I just keep focusing on balancing attack and defense while also paying attention to the cost of each bullet. Higher cost bullets can be powerful, but often that's only under the right circumstances. We run through a series of events right at the beginning of the second map. Anytime Lucas shows up and claims to be hungry, I refuse to feed her. There is a chance that it's Whisper in disguise. Now, learning the events is not crucial to beating this game, but it is helpful. Memorizing Lanterna's quiz answers definitely doesn't hurt. Even if you get the question wrong, she still gives you a single scout ticket. In this treasure block, I pull another bullet that is basically a get-out-of-jail-free card against strong boss attacks. Note, though, that exclusion means that it can only be used once per combat. I opt for the event here rather than the rest block, so that I can get to the treasure block without fighting 2-star enemies. I've got a lot of scout tickets to spend here. I prioritize monochrome bullets, followed by phoenix bullets for deck synergy. Pulling Queen Verisov New Year's is awesome. She is a low-cost bullet that has burst 10. Here is a big tip. You can save scum. Super Bullet Break saves after each block, before you choose the next block. Meaning if you make a mistake in battle, as long as the battle hasn't ended, you can retry the fight. I used this here a couple times against the boss, but you could also use it if you choose a wrong block earlier in the map and want to choose a different block. Your initial hand in combat changes too, so you could save scum to make sure you get the opening card or cards that you want. I want to take out the enemies that she summoned, but I also want to prioritize cards that hit multiple enemies so I can continue chipping away at her health. Keep an eye on turn order. You still need to pile on armor and shield before big attacks. I'm very careful about planning my route in the final map, as it has a lot of 2- and 3-star battles. My deck is almost at full capacity at this point, so I prioritize safety over hitting treasure blocks on this map. Rest blocks are actually more important now, as they allow me to improve the bullets that I already have. The treasure tracker is a super useful item that allows you to see what's in the different boxes in treasure blocks. I'm glad I had it because it allows me to pull a singular lady here. The final boss is a singular lady who attacks frequently. I've got enough powerful cards, both offensive and defensive, to handle her though. I just keep in mind my card synergies as I fight her. And that's it. That's the kind of strategy that I use to beat Monochrome Tactics. If you found this video useful, consider liking and subscribing so you don't miss the video for Super Bullet Break's next stage, Seasons of Love. If you didn't find this video useful, leave a comment telling me how terrible I am at deck builders. Either way, I'm X0, and I'll see you next time.